It is a pleasure to have you here with us today. I want to welcome you into this space where we look specifically at the intricate path you are walking as a Libra during this truly defining year. You may have noticed lately a subtle but persistent feeling that the ground is shifting beneath your feet. It is not an unstable feeling, but rather a sensation of being repositioned. As a Libra, your life is often a dance of maintaining equilibrium, making sure every side is heard, every option is weighed, and every person around you is at peace. But as we step into this massive 90-day window encompassing February, March, and April of 2026, that old way of maintaining balance is undergoing a profound evolution. We are entering a 3-month corridor that many will look back on as the most important period of your recent journey. This is a 90-day phase where decisions, timing, and personal sovereignty are no longer abstract concepts. They become the very tools you will use to build your long-term reality. You are moving out of the phase of weighing the scales and into the phase of setting the weight. This journey through the first part of 2026 is not just about change. It is about alignment. It is about moving from the person who keeps the peace to the person who truly lives in harmony. This specific period marks a major transition because it demands a high level of maturity in areas where you might have previously opted for the comfort of indecision. Many Libras spend a great deal of energy in the space between choices, fearing that to pick one path is to lose the benefits of all others. However, February, March, and April 2026 act as a focused pressure chamber where that luxury of the middle ground begins to dissolve. This 90-day window is set to redefine your personal boundaries, your career commitments, and your ultimate vision for what your life should look like when you aren't trying to please everyone else. This is a rebuilding period, but it begins with a radical reset of your priorities. By the time we reach the end of April, you will no longer be questioning where you stand. You will be standing firmly in a new role that reflects your true values. Starting in February 2026, the theme for you is the internal reset. After the fast-moving energy of early January, February arrives with a quieter, more demanding tone. This is a month that asks you to look at the hidden costs of your life. Every commitment you have made, whether it is professional, social, or emotional, requires energy. This month, you are being invited to perform a radical audit of that energy. Where are you giving your time simply because you feel you have to? Where are you suppressing your own logic to maintain an artificial sense of peace in your environment? February is the time to identify the imbalances that you have become too accustomed to. It is the month for making the quiet choices. These are the internal decisions to prioritize your own well-being over social expectations. You may find that February feels like a cleaning out of your psychological basement. It is the time to remove the heavy weights of outdated guilt and small nagging obligations that no longer serve the person you are becoming. As the energy of February transitions into March 2026, the focus shifts toward action and sovereignty. This is often the most challenging part of the 90-day window for a Libra, because March requires you to be visible in your decisions. If February was about deciding what to change, March is about actually changing it. You might find that your career or your primary role in your family or community comes under a spotlight this month. You are being pushed to step into a new level of authority. This doesn't mean you become loud or aggressive. Rather, you become unshakable in your own truth. March is the month where clarity replaces indecision. The scales stop swinging and finally come to rest. You might find yourself having conversations that you've been avoiding for months. You might find yourself closing a door on a professional path that no longer matches your integrity. Whatever the specific case, March is characterized by a point of no return. It is a pivotal month where a single choice made with total conviction changes the course of the rest of your year. Then we reach April 2026. This is the month of results and integration. While February and March are months of deep labor and difficult choices, April represents the first harvest of this new alignment. In Western astrology, this is when your past choices and the reset you performed in February start to manifest as tangible, long-term outcomes. By April, you will likely see a significant shift in your material security or your professional standing. This month is less about making new moves and more about stabilizing the territory you've claimed over the previous 60 days. It is the time where you see that the risks you took in March were exactly what the universe was waiting for. You are no longer trying to figure it out. By late April 2026, you are walking the path. This month brings a profound sense of emotional relief. The internal friction of early January is replaced by the confident hum of a life that is finally in balance. A central theme for these 90 days is the power of the small choice. As a Libra, you sometimes feel that big changes require big, dramatic gestures. But these 3 months will teach you that lasting change is actually built from 100 tiny, intentional decisions. Choosing to speak your truth in a minor meeting, deciding to go to bed an hour earlier, or choosing to decline an invitation that feels like a drain. These are the building blocks of your April success. Destiny in 2026 isn't something that falls out of the sky and hits you. It is something you cultivate by being intentional with every moment. By staying conscious and proactive, you turn what could be a chaotic time into a masterful construction project. You aren't just reacting to the changes in the world. You are the one deciding how those changes affect your environment. Which areas of your life will experience the most transformation during this 90-day window? First and foremost, your identity as it relates to commitment will be entirely overhauled. For years, you may have viewed commitment as a form of restriction. But these 3 months will reveal that a commitment to your own authenticity is actually the greatest form of freedom you can possess. Secondly, your social sphere will undergo a refinement. As you stop playing the role of the universal mediator, your circle may get smaller, but the relationships that remain will be much more solid and mutually respectful. April will show you that you are no longer willing to trade your dignity for the sake of an easy social life. Thirdly, your relationship with time and timing is changing. You are moving from a reactive state of putting out fires to a proactive state of architecting your day. You will realize that your time is a limited, high-value resource that deserves to be protected with a ferocious calm. Indecision has always been a protective mechanism for you. It was a way to keep every possibility open and to avoid offending anyone's preferences. But the 89 days between February 1st and April 30th, 2026 are asking you to put that tool down. Indecision is a heavy coat to wear when you are trying to move uphill. These 3 months change everything because they prove to you that you can survive a no. They prove that you can handle the ripples caused by your own truth. When clarity replaces indecision, you become a powerful force for innovation in your own life. People will start to look to you not just as a fair-minded judge, but as a person who knows exactly where they are going. This shift in how others perceive you is a direct result of how you have redefined your own priorities. Is this 90-day phase a rebuilding, a breakthrough, or a redefining? The truth for a Libra in this quarter is that it is a cycle of all three occurring in sequence. February is the month of redefining. It is a mental process where you redefine what success looks like on your own terms. March is the breakthrough. It is the moment where an old barrier, perhaps a professional blockade or an internal fear, is finally shattered by the force of your conviction. April is the rebuilding. It is the phase where you take the raw potential of that breakthrough and you begin to construct the rules and habits that will define the rest of your 2026. By moving through these stages intentionally, you ensure that the growth isn't temporary. You aren't just having a productive week. You are shifting your entire baseline for what you expect out of your existence. How can you stay aligned and intentional during these pivotal 90 days? First, practice what we might call tactical silence. Because you are naturally a person who communicates to maintain balance, you often feel a need to speak just to fill an uncomfortable gap or to reassure others. For these 3 months, let the silence be. When you feel a choice coming, don't ask for a dozen opinions. Sit with your own logic first. Reclaim your internal counsel. Second, prioritize your physical energy. A balanced scale needs a steady base, and that base is your body. The energetic demands of March will require you to be rested and grounded. If you are physically drained, you will revert to old patterns of compliance just to save energy. Protecting your sleep and your focus is an act of long-term wealth strategy during this quarter. Relationship dynamics over these 3 months are especially sensitive. As you shift into this more mature, decisive role, the people around you may be surprised. They are used to a version of you that is more flexible. Some people will find this change inspiring. They will appreciate your new clarity. Others may react with resistance because they liked it better when you were easily swayed. This is a crucial diagnostic phase. Pay attention to who is supportive of your new boundaries and who is annoyed by them. By April 2026, the results of this social pressure test will be very clear. Trust that anyone who exits your life during this time is making room for a person who will truly celebrate the person you are becoming. Think of these 90 days as a structural engineering project for your life. February is the demolition and survey. March is the foundation pour. April is the framing. You are the architect, the supervisor, and the primary inhabitant of this new structure. Do not rush the process. Timing is everything in 2026, and the stars suggest that the more you honor the pace of these 90 days, the more solid your foundation will be for the years that follow. Indecision will try to sneak back in, particularly in the mid-days of March. When it does, remember that a maybe is often just a no that hasn't found its courage yet. Be bold enough to choose, knowing that even a difficult choice made from a place of integrity is better than the exhaustion of trying to walk in 2 directions at once. As the weeks unfold, look for the subtle signs that your efforts are paying off. It might be a work colleague who finally starts taking your suggestions seriously without you having to fight for them. It might be an internal sense of peace that doesn't disappear just because the day gets stressful. These are the ripples of your February reset. You are seeing that the world is capable of handling the real you. You are discovering that harmony isn't something you create for everyone else. It's something you inhabit. The 90 days ahead represent a total upgrade to the internal system of the Libra spirit. You are shedding the outdated identity of the person who carries everyone else's weights. You are reclaiming the right to choose, to decide, and to act. It is a season of profound empowerment. February prepares you. March defines you, and April celebrates you. Move into this quarter with your head held high, your mind sharp, and your heart focused on the balance that truly matters. The balance between your external actions and your internal truth. This period of the first quarter of the year is where your future finds its shape. And we know that as a Libra, you appreciate having the full view before you commit to the journey. Navigating the complexity of these coming months is a collective experience for our community. And staying tuned to the logical and energetic rhythms of February through April is the best way to turn these 3 months from a challenge into a massive victory. Here at Libra Zone, we are dedicated to bringing you the clear, grounded insights that allow you to stand firm on those shifting scales. Your story over the next 90 days is part of a larger shift in how we all handle integrity and commitment in our lives. If today's look at the 90 days ahead has resonated with you, providing the clarity and direction you've been searching for. It's a sign that your awareness is already shifting. We invite you to stay aligned with us as we move through this important transition together. Sharing your thoughts and your journey helps us build a more conscious, balanced collective here at Libra Zone. Consider liking the video and sharing it with other Libras who might be struggling to find their feet as these 90 days begin. When you subscribe, you ensure that you have a consistent and grounded companion for every major step of the year. We are stepping into the most pivotal 3 months of our journey together. Thank you for your grace, for your logical heart, and for the commitment you're making to your own growth. We look forward to seeing where you stand by the end of April. Keep moving forward and stay balanced within. We'll see you in our next deep dive into the extraordinary journey of being a Libra.